Our next guest is actually a surrogate for Republican Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik recently visited Georgia to help get out the vote. And today, Elise, is the big answer. How many people are going to actually be persuaded that the election was not rigged, despite what they had heard, and they're going to go ahead and vote?
Well, Steve, first of all, it was a true honor to go to Georgia last week on behalf of Senators Loeffler and Perdue. It is all on the line in Georgia, and this race is going to be determined by turnout. And I think the president did a great job last night on the rally, really underscoring how important it is. The Senate is at play here, and we know how far left the House has been under Speaker Pelosi's leadership. We cannot lose the Senate and allow Chuck Schumer to become the majority. So if you are in Georgia, make sure you turn out to vote today. Issues like the Constitution, making sure we have low taxes, standing up for Second Amendment rights, those issues are on the ballot. And I was excited when I was down there to feel the energy and enthusiasm, but make sure they get out to vote. Because it really is a binary choice. I mean, it will come down to if there is unified Democratic control of the House, the Senate, and the White House as well, it would be much easier to get things done. Whereas if there is a little gridlock where people have to negotiate with the Republicans in the Senate, you know, Joe Biden's entire agenda doesn't just sweep through. It's right that this is a clear choice. This is a choice between higher taxes, which Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff support, or lower taxes. This is a choice between standing up for the Constitution, which David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler have a record of, versus shredding the Constitution in terms of not supporting Second Amendment rights, not standing up for states' rights. This is also an issue of health care, whether we want to move in a direction which I don't believe my constituents nor Georgians want, a progressive takeover of health care, government run, versus quality health care and making sure that you can continue to keep your health care plan. So these issues are at stake, and it's really, really important for all Republicans to turn out to vote. Okay, so today is the vote down in Georgia, and it would be great if we would know the answer tomorrow. But tomorrow is when over 100 House Republicans and about a dozen U.S. senators are expected to object to the certification of the results of the Electoral College. You are one of the people who's going to object. Tell us a little bit about why you think that the results from at least one state not fair. Well, I did not go into this decision lightly. I spent a lot of time listening to my constituents, and I spent a lot of time listening to patriotic Americans across the country. I believe that this debate and discussion is owed to the American people. You have tens of millions of Americans who really have questions about the ballot integrity and election security. I also have serious questions about the constitutionality of unilateral changes that were made in multiple states by unelected bureaucrats, secretaries of state, who circumvented state legislatures. In many states, they did not follow their own state's election law. Right. So Americans deserve to hear this debate. I will be objecting, and my constituents support me in that objection. It's not only about this election, Steve. This is also about the free, fair, and safe elections that are based upon the Constitution in the future. You know, and Congresswoman, the reason some states did change the rules is because there's a global pandemic. And, you know, they were trying to figure a way to get the election, you know, to execute the election fairly. And they changed some rules, no doubt about it. But the big thing, and the reason that courts from lower courts right up to the Supreme Court have rejected the president's arguments that things were not fair is there has not been any evidence. Does the lack of evidence not bother you? I think there's ample evidence that laws weren't followed and that there were numerous actions taken by state governors, by secretaries of state that did not follow the letter of the law. Even in a pandemic, Steve, the Constitution applies. And I do not think that we should allow unilateral authority to circumvent state legislatures. As an elected official, I know that we are closest to the people. And in the case of states, state elected officials in the legislatures and assemblies are closest to the people. They are responsible for writing states' elections laws. And in many cases, those were ignored. So I will be objecting to numerous states, and the American people deserve this discussion. What has been frustrating is the media is somewhat covering this as though it's an obligation to have this discussion. This has happened. Democrats have objected to presidentials in 88 2000, 2004, and 2016.
Absolutely. And it will be a great debate, and we'll watch it tomorrow. And you're going to be part of it. Elise Stefanik of the great state of New York. Elise, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right.